Hello and welcome! My name's Heather, I'm a Registered Professional Counselor, and today I'm going to be watching Netflix series Love is Blind Season 2. I'm super excited to watch this. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe for more analysis videos like this. Let's get to the show.
Welcome, I'm Vanessa Lachey.
I'm Nick Lachey, obviously.
You guys know who Nick Lachey is, right? He was from 98 Degrees. He was married to Jessica Simpson and they had this horrible reality TV show together. But let me know in the comments if you actually know him from 98 Degrees, and I hope I'm not just outing my own age.
When I meet men on dating apps, I think they see an Asian and they stereotype me thinking I'm gonna be quiet, more submissive, and then they'll meet me and I'm a little bit louder, more outgoing. I always hear at the end of the day, like, wow, I was not expecting you to be like that.
Interesting.
I get that a lot when I meet new people as well. People are just generally surprised that I'm really talkative and really social and I'm not shy and I like to joke around. And it definitely is a stereotype where people tend to think that Asian females are more quiet, more shy, more reserved. There's people who might be more outgoing and there's people that might be more shy. It doesn't necessarily mean that because they're a certain race that they're more inclined to be one thing over the next.
First impression, blonde hair, big boobs. She's a great time, it's not wifey material.
So in this modern times of dating, people tend to gravitate more towards physical attractiveness and physical appearance, and they make snap decisions based on that. And so it's unfortunate. I'm sure you've also had that experience where someone would just judge you based on your appearance and not really get to know who you are. I feel like that's definitely one of the disadvantages of the dating world in modern times. It's just very superficial, very appearance oriented, and not so much getting to know the other person or their values. And I'm guessing that's why a show like this is so popular, because people want to know if they can have a real lasting relationship without that initial physical appearance getting in the way.
You don't take the time to really think about like marriage or having kids or values and goals. People nowadays, they avoid those conversations like the plague.
I definitely think that there's some truth to that statement. I think a lot of the times people don't have those deeper conversations is because they don't really have a strong sense of the self. Everyone has a sense of self, but like a core self, but there's a difference between having a self and really knowing the self. And a lot of times people aren't really comfortable talking about it because they don't really know who they are or what they want, because they weren't given the time or space to really process or understand what it is they really want. In order to get to know the self, you need to really dig deep and really look within. It's not something that can be externalized or controlled by your environment or who you surround yourself with. It really depends on you being able to know yourself and what it is that you really want. And this comes up a lot in my counseling sessions with my clients, because a lot of times they don't really know who they are or what it is they want and what they're looking for. So usually what I would have to do is create a safe space for them to just start exploring that, and for them to have homework or exercises that they could take with them in their daily lives to start formulating that sense of self and have that stronger relationship, so they really know who it is they are and what it is they're looking for in a long-lasting relationship. So there's definitely big benefits to really sitting with your feelings and having a clear understanding of your core self and being able to communicate that cleanly and functionally to a potential partner.
Hello?
There's no place like home.
Did she not know he's there? Poor guy.
I have a huge Instagram following.
Oh.
Obviously,
Yeah, lead with that.
A lot of friends. Like, it's crazy.
She's definitely
And I think
talking
I'm
a
really good
lot.
at this
Maybe it's
podcast
just the way they
because my
edit
job,
it.
I have
Good for her. She has a huge Instagram following, but I think that's just testament to where we are today in modern times, where these followers or amount of subscribers is supposed to equate your worth or how popular you are, but it doesn't really mean anything. It really doesn't. And sometimes people like to have these types of conversations because they think that it's supposed to say a lot more about who they are and the type of person they are. It's just a true indication of how disconnected people really are, especially in an experiment like this where you have such a short amount of time to get to know these people, and yet you're relying on talking about the amount of followers you have or how popular you are. So I'm curious to see if she gets matched up with anyone, but it seems like the guys so far that we've seen just do not seem interested because they want something deeper. Again, it could be edited that way just to make it appear funny. The other thing that I want to say is that everything I'm saying here is just a speculation. I'm not here to diagnose any of the cast members. Obviously, that's not ethical. I don't know any of them. I'm not in a counseling session with them. The purpose of these videos is to talk about relationships or psychology in general, using the events that we see from the show. These videos or any YouTube videos are not a proper replacement for therapy. If you feel like you need therapy, definitely hire someone that you trust.
You're up for the challenge? You can pick me up?
Yeah, but will I have trouble picking you up?
Oh my gosh!
That comes off very superficial.
Yes. I'm glad she said something because that's
how love is blind
quite
towards
offensive. You know, even after season 1 coming out, it seems like some of the cast members still have a very superficial way of dating or trying to get to know someone else. And we see that Shake here has been asking different girls basically their size, whether or not they like to exercise. He's trying to go about figuring out how much they weigh or what size they are or body shape they are by asking these really passive questions.
Is she a dress wearer or a pants wearer? Would an average size rowboat support her without capsizing?
I can understand how it might be difficult for people to kind of switch that mode off and to try to connect with someone on a deeper level, especially if they spent their entire dating history just focusing on physical appearance or the more superficial aspects of dating.
Watching my grandfather take care of my grandmother with Alzheimer's. She can't move, she can't talk. I want someone who will love me regardless of the condition I am in or my weaknesses and flaws.
And that's definitely a good way to think about relationships, is to think about how you want it to look like in the long run. Looks phase, bodies change. You really want to focus on how compatible you are and, you know, whether or not there's a good foundation of trust, communication, friendship, because that long-term commitment stems from that foundation. It doesn't stem necessarily from how attractive this person is. Of course, good chemistry and intimacy is important in a relationship. However, it's not the end-all be-all as to whether or not a relationship is going to be long-lasting.
I have a lot of Instagram followers, but see how hard I hit the gym.
Wow.
I think sometimes, like, they might not.
So I wonder if she's talked about her Instagram followers to all the guys.
What are you looking for in a girl?
For me, it's
Because this is the second time that we've seen it on the show so far, I think.
The girl's name Hallie or Molly?
Danielle.
No, I think it's Hallie.
Yeah, it's Hallie.
No, it's not.
Hallie or Molly.
Oh no.
And I felt a little relieved because I don't think she's that much of a competition compared to me.
What do you mean she's not competition?
Oh my.
We don't get to see you.
So it seems that Trisha doesn't have a whole lot of self-awareness or self-awareness around how she might be coming across. This could be also evidence of her relying on her looks a lot because now she's comparing herself to Danielle. So I'm really glad that the producer or the interviewer clarified that, you know, Nick won't be able to see you or Danielle, and for her to hopefully think and reflect. Right now, they're just basing whether or not they're a good match based on conversations, personality, and asking probing questions about whether or not they are compatible. And it doesn't matter how many Instagram followers you have. I mean, what's that going to do in the relationship? And what does that have to do with finding a partner? Do you want a partner that has a lot of Instagram followers as well? It's just silly how society rewards Instagram followers or, you know, subscribers as important. But we do put a lot of emphasis on whether or not the amount of followers you have is someone who is an expert or is a good person. And honestly, it doesn't mean any of that. You could pay for followers and subscribers. People do that.
And I was walking home from school one day, and this guy that I really liked, I heard him turn around and be like, "Oh, this girl's fat." And it's weird because it was so long ago.
Body shaming can definitely take a huge toll on our self-esteem and our confidence, and it can be a little traumatizing depending on the event. I wouldn't be surprised for Danielle or someone in Danielle's position to have these deep-rooted insecurities around our weight or our body shape. And on the extreme end, this can definitely lead to body dysmorphia or eating disorders. It's such a shame that she had to hear that from someone that she really liked. You know, it could be definitely a sense of betrayal, feelings of embarrassment or shame, and it's just terrible that she had to hear that. No one should have to hear that or deal with that, and especially at such a young age when you're still forming your identity and such a formative time.
I'm scared that every other date that you have is going to go better than ours.
So maybe
I'm an overanalyzer.
Insecure attachment or preoccupied attachment style?
I was dating a guy who every time he was like laying next to me in bed, he was scrolling through his phone and all I would see were these girls that were like, like not me.
So it's really great that we're getting more information about her past experiences, and also she mentioned that all the relationships around her end in divorce. You can imagine how that will impact her views on what relationships look like, or what marriage means. On top of that, she had an experience with an ex who would be in bed with her and he's scrolling and looking at pictures of other girls. I mean, you can imagine how hurtful that would be, especially if she's already having insecurities about her appearance and her weight, and she's worried that people are going to leave her because that's the relationships that she sees around her growing up, is that people break up. So what can happen is that it could impact our attachment style. Attachment styles are determined by how our relationship with our caregivers were like growing up, and whether or not our needs were consistently met or inconsistently met, and whether or not we felt safe with them. There's secure attachment style, where our needs were consistently met and we felt safe. There's insecure attachment style, where the care was very inconsistent and we didn't know whether or not we were going to get taken care of or not. There are times where we felt safe and other times we felt unsafe. So we're always anxious or on edge and we're not too sure if we're going to get taken care of. And then there's avoidant attachment, in which the parent very rarely takes care of the child emotionally or just getting their needs met, and the child has learned that they can't rely on other people and that it's not safe to rely on other people because they'll just end up letting them down or leaving them. So it sounds like Danielle may exhibit signs of anxious or preoccupied attachment style, in that she's worried that her partner might leave her. With all the other information that we have with her family, her experience just with her self-esteem around her body image, I wouldn't be surprised that she can be easily triggered or have these very preoccupied thoughts about not being good enough or the partner leaving her. If she stays on the show, that's definitely something that I would be looking for. These are just speculations. I'm not saying that is what's going on for Danielle. Before I forget, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe for more analysis videos of Love is Blind.
Like, it's something that I'm constantly insecure about.
Yeah, and it makes sense, especially in society, we equate weight with beauty, right, and worthiness. So really yeah, there's a lot of insecurities around that.
Getting into health, and
so it's good to see that both of them are being open and being vulnerable, and it sounds like they both had some similar or shared experiences when they were younger. So that's definitely something that can increase their bond or increase their feelings of connection and understanding towards one another.
I heard you propose today, basically.
No, he didn't.
To Natalie?
Oh, nope, he didn't.
I just want to keep talking to you, and I want to keep getting to know you more.
Well, he didn't really answer the question.
I'm processing it, by the way, if I'm quiet.
What are you wearing over there?
I'm in this cute little matching set.
Shane is torn between Shayna and Natalie. It seems like with Natalie, they definitely have more of an emotional connection and they have more serious talks. And Shayna is now confused because Natalie was boasting about how much she and Shane are getting along. I can understand why Shayna is trying to get clarification on where Shane stands, because she doesn't want to get played and she doesn't want to waste her time if he's already committed to someone else. And he's saying that, oh, well, we should get to know each other a bit more, and that's part of the process, which is fine. But then he turns around and asks her what she's wearing. Why doesn't he try to steer the conversation to see if they can also have more serious conversations or, see if there's more of a deeper emotional bond. It looks like it's definitely just stayed in the more superficial level where it's like, what are you wearing? Oh, that's super sexy. I'm not too sure who he would pick because I can see him having a lot of confusion around, this clear physical attraction towards Shayna, and yet there's a deeper emotional connection towards Natalie. Essentially, they seem very different, and he acts really differently as well, depending on who he's talking to. So I guess we'll see who he chooses.
The rest of that book, it's empty, and we can fill it with memories
Aww.
and adventures of everything that a marriage can be.
That's really thoughtful. That is a really nice gift. Is he proposing already? How many days has it been?
You will marry me.
Yes.
Oh! Oh!
I'm gonna hug the wall right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that just warms my heart. I'm glad to see that they're together. It definitely seems like they had a strong emotional connection. I wonder how many days it's been. I'm just curious. I mean, it's fine if he wants to propose early, but just, I don't know how long they have in the pods. Is it like a week and they have to decide?
Shayna, there you go.
What?
Oh, that's what I was hoping for. What are you wearing over there?
Oh my god. Oh no. Oh, Shane.
Oh, Shayna, stop.
It's Natalie.
And the first thing he asks, of course, is what is she wearing? And he's probably never asked that to Natalie. Okay, so we see that he's already getting super defensive. He didn't really apologize.
You're talking to other people too, right? Are you not?
So there could have been a different way to react to this. I mean, he could have just acknowledged that he made a mistake and he could have apologized and check in with how she's feeling. He's getting defensive and now he's shifting the blame onto her.
I was just hurt because I've been very clear. Clearly you had feelings for her and that's fine. But don't lead me on.
I'm not trying to lead you on whatsoever.
So she's doing a good job so far, just expressing that she feels hurt and she feels a little led on, and that's completely understandable. And I can also see where Shane is coming from because he's wanting to figure out who his wife is going to be, and he, the experiment is to talk to other people. What needs to be addressed is the fact that she thought that she was his only one. I feel like Shane is this season's Barnett and he's just trying to figure out who he gets along with better. I mean, I guess another thing that he could have done is just to let her know early on that, yeah, you know what, so far you're my number one, but there is another connection that I'm exploring further and I'm just trying to decide between the two of you, but right now I feel a stronger connection towards you, but I want you to be aware that there's also someone else. He could have said that to her before this incident and maybe that would have been okay. So let's see how he recovers or how he tries to take care of her in this situation because she said she's feeling hurt.
Don't feed me bullshit.
So she could have said that a bit differently because now she's starting to accuse him of lying to her or leading her on, and that's a normal reaction, especially when we're feeling hurt. We either try to attack the other person or blame the other person for doing the wrongdoing or for hurting us.
Why am I getting beat up about? It's this is the whole experience.
And I don't want to make you feel like you're being beat up. I'm not trying to come after you at all. I'm just trying to understand.
The other thing that we could see is that physiologically, he's definitely getting more triggered, starting to raise his voice, he's talking faster, his heart rate's going up, he's probably sweating because he knows something, he did something wrong or that they're going to be in a conflict or a fight, so his body is preparing him for that. He's shutting down, he's not even listening.
I'm frustrated because I can't.
And it's okay if he doesn't know, it's still really early on.
This little hiccup is that big of a deal, and maybe this is not what we thought it was, I guess.
So it's clear that he's shutting down. He's not even listening to her or what she has to say. And he's just kind of in a defensive mode. Again, he could be triggered. Maybe he's had experience in the past where he's been wrongly accused of something, or he feels like he's always had to defend himself. And so that's his, reflexes to get defensive or to start blaming someone else instead of actually focusing on, the conflict at hand here.
I'm going to leave. It's not worth it for me being here anymore. I'm bouncing.
Oh my gosh, is he leaving? It's a little concerning because I'm wondering if this is a normal reaction for him in conflict. I wonder if he stays on the show, if we'll continue to see this pattern. It's okay that if you're in a fight or in a conflict and you want some time to process and maybe you want to go for a walk, but, let the other person know, just saying, yeah, I think I'm gonna go, but I need some time to process, and maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow. Don't just leave them high and dry and just abandon them basically there when the other person is hurt. That's definitely not the best way to go about it. I guess there's no resolution to that conflict, and I guess we'll just have to see where they end up. It's definitely something that could be overcome. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll get more analysis videos of Love is Blind. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to check out my other therapist reviews videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, be kind and love yourself.